Well, I think in terms of um, in terms of not living in a state of rage all the time. I mean, there are I outside of my work at U of T, I'm also an activist and an artist, and I put a lot of myself into fighting for justice and for decolonizing Canada and all of those kinds of things. But beyond that, I really do believe that what's kept us strong and what's kept us here and what's kept us together is our ways. And those things never went away. So I can only speak from the perspective of an Anishinaabe woman. But I will say that in terms of my community, our ceremonies, including our Medewan ways, our sweat lodges, our shaking tents, all those kinds of things were actually outlawed and illegal under the Indian Act. However, our elders, they went underground with them and kept them alive. So our language survived, our songs survived, our ceremonies survived. So for myself, I'm very connected to my community. I go home 4 times a year. For ceremonies. I'm a member of the Medewan Society, which is the medicine society of the Anishinaabe people. I'm learning my language. I'm very connected to my family. So that for me is important because for myself, the colonial system or the colonial legacy of Canada is not the center of my existence. Although it's affected me since the day I was born, it's not the center of my existence. The center of my existence is the Anishinaabe Nation and the way that we look at things, and my family and my loved ones. So oftentimes when I think about things like the residential school system, I think to myself, at the height of what was happening and how horrific that was, how did we survive? How did the parents go on? How did the children go on? I think about my nephew who's 5 years old, and I think, what if that happened now? What would I do? And how painful that would be. And, how do you not just exist in a state of rage all the time? But I really believe that our Indigenous ways kept us going and kept us centered and kept us good people, with good hearts. So I mean, it's a very difficult question, but that's the only way that I know how to answer that.